Welcome to Hormone Health for Real Life. We're Jennah and Jen, and we are so glad you're here.
If you've been searching for answers, looking for hope, or wondering why your body isn't responding the way it used to, you're in the right place. We believe our bodies are designed to heal.
Remember that this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not replace professional medical advice.
Now let's dive into today's episode. What if I told you there was one herb that could calm your mind, soothe your digestion, support your hormones, help you sleep, fight cold sores, and even taste amazing as a tea? It's been treasured for over 2,000 years. It grows easily in the garden. It smells like fresh lemons, and yet most people walk right past it without realizing what a powerhouse it is. Today, we're talking about one of my favorite herbs, lemon balm. This lemon balm podcast today is brought to you by Jennah. This herb has been so fun for me and my family. My daughter, when she was a teenager many years ago, planted this as a seed, hoping to get it to grow. She was interested in herbs and is now on her way to becoming an herbalist, and she likes to make herbal teas. I will tell you that growing it from seed was quite the chore. It took a few seasons for it to take and start growing. And so once it started growing, she was super excited, and I was needing to brush up on what lemon balm was for. I hadn't used it a whole ton, although I knew I had learned about it. Hands-on application is always the best way to learn about herbs. I will say, if you're trying to grow this herb, which is very easy to grow once you get it going, it's best to get a start from someone, either in the early spring or in the fall. Get a shovel. Use the shovel to cut a little section of the root of the lemon balm out, put it in a little bit of dirt, and take it wherever you want and replant it. Once you get it established, it'll come back every spring, early in the spring. It spreads a little bit more every year, and it's fantastic. So before I was growing lemon balm, we had a little teeny tiny 5 milliliter bottle of Melissa essential oil. I love doTERRA oils. It was a doTERRA oil, and it was quite expensive. It was $100 for this little 5 milliliter bottle. My husband loved it for cold sores, and so that's what we had it around for. When I realized that lemon balm, the plant, is what they used for Melissa essential oil, I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. Now I know that this is really good for cold sores. The fancy scientific name is Melissa officinalis. It sounds official, right? It is a member of the mint family. A hands-on way you can tell if any plant is a member of the mint family is to grab the stem of the plant and feel whether the stem is round or if it's square. If it's a square stem, then it's a member of the mint family. It's a native to Europe and Western Asia, but it grows phenomenally well here in North America. It's an easy perennial to grow. It has bright green leaves, a wonderful lemon scent when you crush it up. It's out in my back garden right behind my house. It's on the north side of my house, so it gets partial shade, partial full sun. It thrives. It's spreading. It's wonderful. And I'll just walk by and pull off a leaf and eat it. And when I have stevia growing right next to it, I'll pull a leaf of stevia and 2 leaves of lemon balm and just eat them. And it reminds me of eating a lemon head when I was a kid, but instead I'm chewing leaves, but it's so delicious. Historically, it has been called the herb of gladness, the elixir of life, and the heart's delight. And I can get behind every one of those. It's just a bright, happy herb. And it's the elixir of life because it does so many good things for us. For centuries, people believed it lifted the spirits and calmed the nervous system. That's exactly what research tells us that it actually does today. So why should every woman know this herb? Because women's hormones are deeply connected to some things that lemon balm can help you with. For example, women's hormones are deeply connected to stress. You probably inherently know that. Women's hormones are deeply connected to sleep, to blood sugar, to digestion, to nervous system balance. Lemon balm generally supports nearly every one of these. Rather than forcing the body, it helps restore balance. And that's one reason I love herbs so much, because you're using a whole food that God gave us to restore balance to your body. Let's go over a few awesome benefits of lemon balm. Benefit number one, it calms stress without sedation. This little thing is probably what lemon balm is the most famous for. It helps calm an overactive nervous system. It's great for racing thoughts, feeling overwhelmed, irritability, emotional tension, and feeling wired but tired, which is something that we also have talked about earlier in this podcast. It's a calming herb that is not going to make you feel drugged or foggy. You've got like valerian root and poppy. Those are good calming herbs, but they can almost make you feel a little bit foggy. Those are good ones to go to sleep. So instead with this one, it's kind of like this, I can breathe again. It's like a breath of fresh air after you drink a little bit of lemon balm tea. So what happens when our stress is high? High cortisol, what it does is it steals resources away from healthy hormone production. Cortisol is good. We need the cortisol, but if it stays high because our nervous system is just constantly tense and we're in fight or flight, then healthy hormone production drops off. Our estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone, they aren't produced like they need to be. When we're stressed out, our progesterone suffers, our sleep suffers, our cravings increase, we get more inflammation. And so that's why this lemon balm is so good for hormones, because calming the nervous system is one of the best hormone therapies there is. And lemon balm can become a part of your daily ritual, especially when it's in season, which is from early spring all the way until the freeze hits. You can take advantage of this wonderful herb. And then even in the wintertime, because you can harvest so much of it and dry it and have it during the wintertime as well. Okay, benefit number two for lemon balm is better sleep. Many women struggle falling asleep because their brain simply won't shut off. I know that this has happened to me. Honestly, I've often used lavender, which is also a really good herb, and I have that essential oil next to my bed. But this is also very, very nice. If you know you're going to have trouble sleeping, maybe in the evening, make it a routine to have a nice little cup of lemon balm tea. Lemon balm really will help quiet that mental chatter, relax tension, and support a deeper sleep once you finally get to sleep. And it does combine well with chamomile, lavender, and passion flower. You can add those into a bedtime tea as a powerful nightly routine if you want to. Benefit number three of lemon balm is that it supports digestion. Our digestive system has millions of nerve endings. Scientists used to say that neurons were our brain cells, and they are, but they're finding that there are millions of those same nerve cells in our gut. In addition to a whole bunch of nerve endings, of course, because nerves go to every part of our body. Stress can show up as bloating, stomach aches, indigestion, and cramping. Lemon balm gently relaxes the digestive muscles and helps to relax the nerves in the digestive system. Historically, it has been used after meals to improve digestion. If you know that a certain meal is going to upset your stomach, you can either drink it before a meal or right after a meal just to help improve that digestion. Very simple thing to do. Benefit number four is cold sores. And I already mentioned that at the very beginning, how Melissa essential oil helped cold sores. The very first time I used lemon balm herbally for my family years ago was when we finally got it growing. I thought, okay, this is going to be really good for cold sores. I already make salves. That's something I love to do. You can find our salves on our online store if you're interested. I pulled a whole bunch of lemon balm. I let it dry for a couple of days on the counter. I stuffed it into a pint jar and poured olive oil on top of it. And then I shook it up and I put it in a cupboard in my kitchen, and it just sat there. I think it sat there for an entire year. And then I pulled it out one day. I shook it a few times because I'd see it every once in a while and think, oh, I'm going to make a salve out of that sometime. And then my husband got stressed and he got cold sores. And that's what happens when his stress gets high. He breaks out in cold sores. Or when he gets sick, sometimes he'll break out in cold sores. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this made for him. So I made it into a salve. It was nice and infused, this beautiful, rich lemon balm infused olive oil, thickened it with a little beeswax, and he started using it on his cold sores. Lo and behold, it's become his favorite cold sore cream because it helps them go away very quickly. He also takes lysine, which if cold sores are an issue, take L-lysine. That will help too. So this is a good topical thing to use. It's also really good for acne and any type of breakouts, any rashes that you're like, where did this come from? It will help with that. It shortens outbreaks, it reduces pain of rashes, cold sores, and acne, and it speeds the healing. We have a breakout relief salve in our online store that's really good for cold sores. Look it up at DIYholisticsolutions.com and just go to the store and you'll be able to find that. Interestingly, benefit number 5 of using lemon balm is that it's really good for brain health. So there's emerging research suggesting that lemon balm may help with focus, memory, and concentration. That probably goes back to the fact that it calms everything down and reduces a lot of stimulation that's happening. And so because of that, it can improve alertness. It brings that peaceful feeling without making you feel sleepy. And one last benefit of lemon balm, benefit number 6, is that it is rich in antioxidants. And that's true for a lot of herbs. We could say that about tons of herbs, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. So of course you want to get those good things into your diet, and this falls right into that category. Lemon balm contains rosmarinic acid, flavonoids, polyphenols. These are compounds that help protect your cells from oxidative stress. They help with digestion. They help the gut microbiome. Definitely all good things when it comes to eating lemon balm. A super mild, very fantastic, very easy to use herb. So let's talk about growing it for just a second. Really, once you get it established, it is one of the easiest herbs you'll ever grow because you can just ignore it and it will spread. It loves sunshine. It does tolerate partial shade. Like I said, mine is on the north side of my house, so it does get some shade in the mornings and in the later evening, but during the day, it gets a lot of sun and it thrives where it's at. If an herb is thriving where it's at, leave it where it's at, but you're not going to want it under a bunch of trees. The awesome thing is it's a perennial. It's going to thrive in lots of different climates. It just kind of goes dormant where I live in Utah during the winter, and then it comes back early in the spring. A little pro tip though, plant it where you don't mind having more next year because it likes to multiply. If you want to keep it contained, maybe put it in a planter. When you harvest lemon balm, you're going to get the best flavor and the best herbal qualities from it before it starts to flower. As with most harvesting in the morning is often ideal. You get that first fresh morning leaves and it's easier on the plant to do it when it's cool. You can use it fresh or dried or frozen into ice cubes. You can make tinctures with it, infused honey, infused vinegars. I mean, there's so many things you can do with lemon balm, just like you can do with lots of different herbs. Let's talk through some of the ways that we can actually use lemon balm now that you know how easy it is to harvest. When I'm harvesting herbs, I never like to just clean off the whole plant. I always like to leave at least half of the plant there. So I am selective when I'm harvesting. I just don't want to plow it all off. Then the next time you go out, the other half of the plants are going to be bigger and thriving. And so you'll harvest those. And if you continually harvest off of it, then you're going to keep it from flowering for longer, which is nice because you'll just be able to keep harvesting. I will say my favorite way to use almost any herb is in a tincture. So we'll get to tinctures in a minute. However, this is a fantastic tea, and we've already talked about that a couple of times. If I'm going to use it in a tea and it's summertime, what I actually like to do is infuse water with it and make a sun tea. I'll take a few sprigs of lemon balm, put them in a glass, fill it with water, and then put it in my windowsill where it can get light throughout the afternoon. And then around dinner time, I'll just drink my tea and it's lovely. It's kind of mild. It tastes like mild lemon water. I will crush it up a little bit before I put it in there, but I won't make it tiny. I'll just make it really easy to take the lemon balm out and drink my infused water, my sun tea. That is my favorite. In the winter time, then I do like a nice warm tea in the evening before I go to bed. And lemon balm is always going to be included because it's just so soothing. It's yummy. You can't say that all herbs make a yummy tea, but this is definitely one that does. Another fun thing to do during the summertime is to make herbal ice cubes. You can freeze leaves into ice cubes. You just take some fresh leaves, stuff them into an ice cube tray, and then I put water over the top, put it in the freezer, and then you can pop those out and put it in your drink. And as they melt, you'll get that lovely lemon balm in your water or in your drink. You can even put a handful of leaves into a warm bath in the wintertime, and that will also be very relaxing. So that's something other than drinking it or internalizing it. You can use it externally too, in a bath, and of course in a salve like we talked about. I love using it in a salve, so I just infuse an olive oil with it and usually some other herbs as well, and then make a salve. We also have a book that you can find in our store that is a book of recipes that has recipes for all of the salves that I like to make, and the breakout relief, which includes lemon balm, mostly lemon balm, is in that book. Okay, let's talk about tinctures for a minute. Tinctures are a fantastic way to use any herbs, and I like to use herbs that I can grow around my farm to put in tinctures, although I can't grow everything, and so I still order a lot of herbs, but this is one that I can grow. Because lemon balm contains compounds that reduce anxiety, promote calmness, improve sleep, improve memory, antiviral, cold sores, and digestion, it is in several of our tinctures. We make herbal tinctures, and we also have a tincture recipe book. If you're interested in learning to make tinctures, we have all the recipes available. We actually also have a tincture making class, and you can find all that on our website. Lemon balm is in all the following tinctures. It's in memory vitality, brain vitality, heart vitality, migraine relief, mood boost, nerve vitality, serenity boost, and sleep easy. Funny thing is, we don't have it in the digestive tea because there's other herbs that are also good for digestion. The wonderful thing about herbs is that they work nicely alone. They work better in synergy with other herbs. When we put together a recipe for a tea or for a tincture, it's nice to include several herbs that can work together to accomplish the outcome that you desire. That's why lemon balm is in so many different tinctures. If you're not sure what a tincture is, tinctures are just concentrated herbal extracts created by soaking a part of the herb, either the bark or the berries or the leaves. In this case, with lemon balm, it would be the leaves or the roots, in either alcohol or vinegar. The alcohol or vinegar extracts the active ingredients from the plant material, concentrates them into a liquid form. If you do alcohol, it'll sit on the shelf for 20 years and keep the quality of the herbs. I find this method of healing and prevention far superior than manufactured medications. And if you're wanting to use herbs, then you know that this is always going to be ready for you because it's going to last. Where, like, if you're saving lemon balm for a tea, it's going to last in your pantry for a year or 2 years or maybe even 3 years. It'll slowly lose its potency. And then if you haven't used it, you might as well just feed it to the chickens or toss it out. So it's only going to last so long if you're using it in other applications. Tinctures are just a long-lasting way to have it ready for you whenever you need it. And so that's become a really fun way for us to be able to use all sorts of herbs, including lemon balm. As far as safety is concerned, lemon balm is considered one of the gentlest herbs. Although there is some evidence that suggests it may interact with medications affecting thyroid function, particularly if you have thyroid disease. So just look into it. Look up the medication that you're taking and lemon balm and see if there's anything that might be interacting there. Now, if you take it with a sedative medication, then it might increase your drowsiness, but it alone is not going to make you drowsy. So that's something to consider. And then, as with any herb, pregnancy or breastfeeding is really a good time to check with a qualified healthcare professional before using it regularly. But if you were to just use it occasionally, especially in a tea, which is a little bit of a less concentrated form, you're probably going to be just fine. Some people think herbs need to be dramatic, but in many of the most healing herbs, they are incredibly gentle, and that's exactly where lemon balm sits. Lemon balm reminds us that healing doesn't always have to come from something stronger. That's really what the whole herb is about anyway. It's healing that comes from slowing down, and lemon balm helps our body to be able to slow down and process life better. Here's a little challenge for you this week. Find access to some lemon balm. If you don't have any growing in your backyard, maybe find access to a lemon balm start that you can start growing in your backyard so that you can harvest off it whenever you want. Or get some dried lemon balm, or maybe some essential oil, which is called Melissa. I want to encourage you just to make a cup of lemon balm tea each afternoon or each evening whenever you feel like you would use it. Not because you're sick, not because something's wrong, but just because your nervous system deserves a little kindness. And then after a week, notice if anything changes. Notice if your sleep improves, or if your mood is better, or if you have more patience, or notice if your digestion starts to improve. Notice if you feel mentally more clear, because sometimes the smallest daily habits create the biggest transformations. And I'm hoping this amazing little herb can help you create a fun transformation in your life. Be sure to click over to our show notes and get a free resource called the Top 5 Foundational Herbs Every Woman Should Know. Lemon balm is included in that, along with some other awesome herbs that you're going to want to go take a look at. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe because we love putting this information out there. In future podcasts, we are going to highlight other herbs and other amazing things that you can do for your hormones. Each episode, we will explore another incredible truth that will help you get your hormones back on track. So until next time, remember that some of the best medicine doesn't come from a pharmacy. It can grow right outside your back door.